Today's video is a video I've been putting off for some time. I spent a couple of afternoons practicing the stamping. This was a request from Chatty Batty. She's seen some of my cards, I think, in the past. Some of the stamps I haven't got because they were belonging to a colleague or friend from Craft Group. Unfortunately, the Craft Group hasn't been going ahead since about last September, plus I wouldn't have been going anyway with everything going on. So I'm going to share the stamps and how I organise them to start with. They're not all in their sort of boxes, but I've got them pretty well organised. Most of these in here came as a job lot from a car boot years ago. Some like this one from a magazine, but a lot of these sort of ones like this, I got a whole box of them actually in this box. Not all of them are actually in here at the moment, and I think I paid like £4 or something for whole group of the wooden blocks, and most of them, these stamps, hadn't been used. So like I said, they're not all in here. Some are in another box, but I've kept the sort of overflow in this bit here. So that's my first box there. I'll just put that out the way for a moment. Some oddments I've got that haven't been put away or don't fit in. I am trying to use what I already have rather than spend actually more money, and stamping is something that I put off for quite a while. I used to do it at the Craft Group and everything, so some of these you've seen that I've got from like the charity shop, like this one was £1, so I haven't actually dealt with this one yet. A lot of these through obviously some time. This one was 50p, again from the charity shop, and this one is letters. Some of them haven't all come from the charity shop. This one I got from Hobbycraft. This was down to £1, and I got a set of these. As you can see, these are all sort of the same sort of set, so that one's £1. I've got this one which is like Sweet Paris, and I've got this one, actually Chatty Batty I think's got this one, because she's the one a fair few years ago brought the Frozen magazine, and on her recommendation, when she shared it, I went and bought it, and still my granddaughter's into Frozen, but I've used different pieces, but I haven't actually used the stamps yet. That was something I'm going to try and do. This, it can be quite messy, I must admit. This isn't something else I've got from Hobbycraft. This was £1 with the arrows and everything, so yeah. And then this one was a gift, and this has just got happy birthday. I've used this one quite a few times actually, as you can see, and I had a stamp pad with this that a friend of mine gave me a few years ago actually, for my birthday. So that's just a few oddments that I wanted to share, and then I can carry on with sharing how I organise the remainder of my pieces. And I have shared this before, and yeah, this is the Ferrero Rocher boxes. I used to buy people the chocolates so I could have the boxes, or family. Haven't bought any Ferrero Rocher for quite some time, although I think the last was a fair few years ago, was for our son and daughter-in-law's wedding, and I used them as wedding favours in little boxes, so we had quite a lot. So I'm going to use these two first of all, because I am going through, because stamp pads do dry up. I do prefer the Dover craft ones, and that's the ones that I've been using on practicing the stamping, and I'll show you some of the stamps that I've used. I've made a couple of cards, and I've used wipes. I do use wet wipes to wipe the stamps afterwards so that you don't ruin them. This is the stamp pad that I got with that set that I said I got as a gift for a birthday. A lot of these, the cheaper ones, I don't find so good. A couple of them I've broken into that are sealed, that they have dried up, so I'm starting to go through these. But the ones that I have used is this one. This was a new one, sealed up, and that one was really good. And also I like to use black, and I got two of these. These are the Dover Craft ones, and that's the pad that I prefer to use along with this one. So a lot of the coloured ones I probably will be getting rid of. I've put a few in my basket of things to leave, because that'll be in a video coming up. But as I said, I'm trying to go through my list of requests. So that's the first one, and these all stack really nicely in my cupboard down here in my desk. I said about the wooden sort of stamps. This is them, and a lot of these actually are the ones that I said that I got for about £4 or £5, a whole box full of stamps. Now, as you know, they can run quite expensive, so I've got this one here. So some of them don't look as though they have actually been used, but I will try and get a bit more practice in, but it's a matter of doing it and taking your time so you don't smudge. But like I said, that's the problem, and that's why I always do them on pieces of card, especially white card, separate, then I stick them on the card. I haven't got, I know there's a name for it, there's the acrylic book. It's joined like that, so you can actually put your stamping on one thing, put your ink on, put your paper on, and then it folds over, stamp it down, go back, so that you can do another stamp or a different colour, if that makes sense. I haven't got one of those. I know they can run expensive. I know you can get them from Amazon, but I have been just using my little blocks here, and they're kept in the drawer just in my desk, separate, because I said so I can use them. So these are different thicknesses and different sizes, but if I was to get into stamping more, then I probably would invest in the book ones, so you stop the smudging, and you can do it a couple of times. So if it doesn't stamp really well using one of these, if you was to have the book, you could actually put more ink on the stamp. Then, because it's not moving, you press it down a second time, a third time, and you can it's not going to move, and it goes over the existing print. You can try and do it as I've done it with one of these, but usually it smudges or it doesn't actually come out correctly. But if you're familiar with stamping and inks and everything, you know what I'm talking about, and at some point maybe I can go into this a little bit in more detail. But I've been practicing this in a couple of afternoons while watching TV and looking after hubby. This one's a bit messy because this is the one I was going through, and I was using. I did use this Easter one, but I haven't made the card up on that one. And I like some of these because looking back, they've got like mother, daughter, mum, sister, and things like that, and that'd be handy for me to actually punch some of these out, so it saves a bit of money actually to buy the stickers. And sometimes I don't always have the stickers with those sort of things on. That's just a flower that I have actually used. So some of these are still in their packaging because I haven't actually used them. I'm not sure if they're all here, the ones that I did use. I used actually a few Christmas ones, which could be in maybe one of the other boxes, I'm not sure. Realistically, I should keep all my Christmas ones together like that. I think there might be underneath. Yeah, these are the ones that I actually used. I used there's this little house one that I've used. The snowman I've used quite a few times. I've used this sort of little bird and that, and I did try using the tatty. This is why it's nice to keep the plastic films, they're not all been put back on like this one, the film, to keep them from sticking. I got like Me To You Teddy Bear, so like I said, it is better to, you know, keep cellophane. So I really will have to have a sort out in here. And what else did I use? So there's been quite a few odd ones. I've used the Merry Christmas a fair bit as well. I don't know why those stickers should be in there, but these need to have a bit of a sort out. But like I said, this was the box I was sort of going through, because at the time I didn't want to get everything out because of putting everything away, and I was in the lounge, not in my cubby. So that's my third box, and my fourth one is this one. As I said, I think with having this message from Chatty Batty, I think it's encouraged me to sort of use my stamps a bit more, and I've got a lot of Christmas ones here. Probably are these all Christmas? I don't think they are, and some of these I forgot that I had. So I've got these. These are obviously the works. These are down to 50p. Might use those next with the little animals on and things like this. So there's quite a lot in here, and the endearments are really good, but I do prefer to use them on pieces of card, cut them out. So say that was a bit of card, I would have it sort of stamped on that, but I would do a number of stamps then cut it off, because I find it easier than mucking up an actual card. So I prefer to do it individually. Hopefully this is making sense, and possibly will do when I show you the card that I've made. As I said, it's one of those things that I haven't done for a while, but I've enjoyed practicing and doing something else. So I'll share with you some of the cards. I did get a bit sidetracked because I started making a couple of Christmas cards as well with embellishments I already had. Okay, so I'll start off with the cards that I made with the stamps. It was sort of, as I said, stamping on pieces of card like I've done here. Then I would choose the card, the actual card. Then I chose a backing paper, and then I chose embellishments to sort of use everything that I'd already got. It's just how I felt. So maybe I'm not a bit more critical about others than I suppose a lot of us crafters do that. We sort of pick fault what we're doing. So I'll start with this one. This one is actually this stamp here, which I'll go back to in more detail. Let It Snow, but the Let It Snow didn't actually come out very well. So what I'd done was I just cut out the little snowman because I still wanted to use it. Like I said, I chose my card, my paper, some backing cards, you know, so it just shows up. I've actually used the little snowman and all the bits and pieces, Merry Christmas, Warm and Cozy, which is just to bring a little bit more black in, added a bow and a little cardboard button there. So I'm really pleased with that one. And then inside I've got this one, glittering Christmas cards cover the wall, a bunch of white mistletoe hangs in the the haul. That's what I actually cut out of a Christmas card. But there you go. So I'm really, you know, pleased with that one. This one, not, maybe it's not one of my favourites, but it's silver. This was the whole stamp. It was the snowman and Let It Snow. I've put it back on some silver paper here. I've got a silver Merry Christmas, some silver stars to give it a little bit of 3D as well. So, and then I had this odd like silver leaf. So, and then I had this very small silver tree as well. And I haven't actually got anything inside. This is the one that I've actually threaded, trimmed the paper down and threaded it through and just glued it down there. So I probably would put like a silver Merry Christmas inside that one. So that's the silver one. I do probably prefer coloured like that, but I was just trying different techniques and things out. And like I said, I know it's April, we haven't even got the summer over with, but I made a start with a few Christmas cards ready for Christmas time, so I'm not leaving it to the last minute. This one I think is kind of sweet. I actually cut down a card because I felt the card was too big. I started off with this sort of like a creamy coloured, and then I've used this red paper. This is like a girly elf, and then I've got some red sticky embellishments with love at Christmas time. So this would be probably maybe for a granddaughter, or it could be for anybody, but I think for a little girl. And then I had this very odd little wooden star and button that I've stuck on there, and this bit of red and white gingham ribbon. I stuck it a little bit down here so it doesn't budge. Then I got season's greetings, then I had this little sticker, and I thought that all tied in really well. This was the very first one I did, and I quite like this one actually. This was the bird. That was one stamp. Then I luckily it worked out well because that's the red ink, as I'd done red ink on that little girl elf. And then I got Christmas Wishes to You, which I did it in the black. That's another little stamp. That's the flower, and I just added a very tiny little button. I had a few odd red buttons that I've added in there. Then this sort of checkered piece of paper, and in there I've got in the red season greetings. So there's that one. Like I said, you have to be very careful not to smudge. That's why I like to do it on pieces of card separate, like I said, like this thing, rather than do it actually on the card. I've done a few where I've done them at when I was at Craft Group. She actually had the book acrylic so that you didn't smudge when it didn't move. This one, I had this actual card with the trees on, so I've used this bit of paper sort of so it does stand out. This is a stamp actually, and I've used like a sort of a greeny stamp, season's greetings. Then I've added a few bits and pieces that I had Christmas time, these little wooden Christmas trees, bringing in sort of the tree theme there, the green bow. Then I just had a sort of Happy Christmas. I think you can just see that in the gold. So again, that's another one I quite liked. I say fairly simple, but I think they do work. This one, there's not a lot to it. This is the only birthday card I actually made in the end. I tried the different coloured stamps, but I felt the cheaper stamps didn't work well, so maybe experience is sort of telling me that it's better to maybe pay out for a decent stamp pad. This is the Dover Craft one, the black, but I think this is actually nice as it is. Again, I used the card I sort of cut down the paper and threaded it through these little design here, stuck it down so it don't move. That actually looks better because it's plain white on the back of the paper. I've got this dotted red and white paper. This I love. This is Tatty Bear. This was one part of the stamp. Happy Birthday to You was another stamp, and the balloon was another stamp. So it was like 3 stamps, but on this occasion I did manage to do it on one piece of paper because I thought, failing that, if I did smudge it or anything, I would just sort of cut round the bear or whatever, things like that. But normally I would have done all this separate, but this is probably the last one I did, and I was sort of experimenting, and then I found 2 little pieces with the red and the white just to tie it in. I've got this little red bow, this little red rosette with the white button. I haven't got anything else inside. I actually thought about colouring in and making the balloon sort of red, and even the jumper red. Maybe you can comment, maybe I could do that and bring a bit more red in like that. I know, again, I bring up Chatty Batty. I know she bought some pens. I think she might have got them from, I don't think it was Hobbycraft or The Works. I know you can get different pens or certain crayons, pencil crayons, for colouring in stamps. But like I said, I'm thinking about it, but I want to see if it's something that I'm really going to get into before I sort of you know, sort of spend out more. I haven't quite finished this one. I was going to add something else onto it. This is pink. This one could be for a granddaughter, and I might put granddaughter in pink. I had these little gel sort of tree stickers, some stars. I already had these frames I got on clearance from a store. This is the actual full stamp of the snowman and Let It Snow, and this is like got ombre sort of design, so there's bits of pink in with the trees, and then I put a tree just inside there, but I haven't written anything in. But my idea originally, and I got some of these, I got a lot of tags, I'll share that at some point. I got them after Christmas from, I think it was B&M, something like 10p, you know, for a packet. But I quite like the idea of having the tree sort of hanging down and putting it, so maybe I'll stick it like that. But so you can see the design, but adding a little bit on there, so I might do that. Another reason I bought a lot of these tags was that you could take that off and put like a gold gem on there and use that even with glue or little sticky pads or something, and use that as an embellishment as well on the design. But I quite like the idea. I've done something very similar where I've done cards. If you've seen one of my videos, it was few years ago now, that I got reasonable flat sort of decoration, especially the thinner wooden ones from Amazon, and I actually stuck it on the card like that and put in a gift for you for your tree, from our home to yours, if that makes sense, so that they could take the decoration off, either put it on their tree or use it as a tag and pass it on. But I've put that there, haven't stuck it down because I'm still sort of thinking about that one. Maybe you can comment, or do I leave it blank? I quite like that idea there. So like I said, mostly Christmas ones here, and one birthday. I did do a stamp for Easter because I was trying different ones. I have got boxes on my shelves up there where I put like all my Christmas cards that I've made, and then I've got one that's got like Easter cards. I've got a box where I've received cards through the post from subscribers, but then I have my actual box that I got from the range, as you've seen it previously, that I've got acrylic dividers that I put for anniversary, weddings, male, female, miscellaneous cards and things like that. But I'm loving that. But again, comment if you think I should do some red on the jumper and the balloon, maybe to bring a bit more red in. Whether I should leave the, I mean, one afternoon hubby was sort of dozing, and when he was awake I used to go not stick it down. I said, oh, do you like that on the what's the good of asking me? And even our son, I asked, you know, oh, shall I add this on or leave it off, on or off? And the sort of tutting as if to say, what do we know? But sometimes it's nice, sometimes less is more, which I feel probably this. Sometimes I think you can sort of keep adding on and adding on, which I don't know whether I've done it on this one, but I did ask our son before I put this on, with or without, and he said to add it on. So, you know, again, using those bits and pieces. But I said most of these are Christmassy, but I do like the colours on this one, so I will probably do some birthday cards. I need to do some mail ones, admittedly. So all these ones are like Christmas. Sorry, those are Christmas, and then I just got the one that's like for birthday. But like I said, I had them out, I had the stamps done, put them on the cards with the paper, and then I would come in here on odd times, pick out maybe my little sort of container of buttons, and then I see what I want to put on what cards and things like that. Then I've got 2 boxes, you can just see them here. One's got Christmas stuff in, one's got, you know, anything else. So I took one of those boxes in and I had them out, and then, you know, I wasn't actually doing one card at a time necessarily, and what I would do is I'd lay the cards out and I think, oh, I like the buttons there, so I put the buttons on the tray without sticking down there, and then I'd have that card there and I think, oh, I like the wooden trees there, so I put them on that one without sticking down. Then I'll try sort of the bow, and that's how I did it with these. I felt these actually came along really well. Maybe my least favourite one, I don't know, is probably the silver one, but people probably would like that more than I do. I do like all the different colours. I do like to sort of match things up, but the more I've laid it down, the more that I like that tree sort of tag on there. So I think I'm nattered enough, so hopefully Chatty Batty will be happy with this. Hopefully we'll do some more at some point, but I've held off on this video for so long due to the fact everything that's going on at the moment, and I wouldn't say it's down to patience, it's just timing and feeling tired all the time. And it took me probably even a couple of afternoons or something and evenings to do this bit, because I would lay them down on a tray, like I said, with bits and pieces. Then maybe I was being too critical, or maybe my mind wasn't totally in it. Funny enough, this one just, you know, when things flow, when things just come together. I love it when a plan comes together. Yes, the A-Team, which we've watched the movie, and a while back we watched the old series, but there you are. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.